What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over my top 3 things that I think Ghost of Tsushima does the best. But before I get into the video really quickly, I just want to promote our Twitter. If you guys are not yet following me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is the Twitter handle. You can find it also in the description below. I tend to give updates on upcoming videos there, as well as engage with the community in ways that sometimes I can't do on YouTube. So again, if you guys haven't followed me yet, Podcast Now 15. So, all right, let's jump into Ghost of Tsushima. So this game, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really love this game. I think this game is a phenomenal game. One of my more favorite open world games, and there's a couple of reasons for it. Now, is this game perfect? Is this game an absolute masterpiece? I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say it's my favorite game of all time. I wouldn't say, again, I wouldn't say it's an absolute perfect game. But there's 3 things that I think this game does insanely well. And let me start with number 3. So this is, I guess, going to go in order. Number 3 is actually pulling off its story and characters. So this was something, if you watched the channel leading into Ghost of Tsushima, one of the things you may have known about me was that I was pretty concerned, and one of the things I was concerned about was the story. Can they make, and not even, I guess, by extension, the characters, right? Specifically Jin, can they make you care about a samurai? I mean, again, I get it, movies and games and all this stuff, they make us care about aliens, they make us care about all these different things that aren't even real. Can this game make us just care about a samurai? I know that's not asking all that much, but in reality, you have to feel for them. There's got to be something with them that connects with you, and it's not always a slam dunk that your main character is going to connect. You look at Delson with Infamous Second Son. He didn't connect with me. I hate it. I think he is the worst part of Infamous Second Son, is the main character. So again, it's not a slam dunk that you're going to love and connect right away or even at all with your main character. So could this game do it? I say yes. I wouldn't say they make you care about every character in this game. With that being said, there are a lot of characters. I'll give them that. But it's not even just Jin. There's other characters I do care about. Even the villain, I actually understand. I think he's kind of rational in his own way. I get him. So the way they've done it, and so now going backwards, we talked about the characters, even the story, man, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Is it the greatest story of all time? No, but what they're trying to do, which I will get to in a different point on this ranking, what they're trying to do with this game, I think they absolutely nail. I bought in with the story. The opening of this game, it is important to have a good opening, and this game's opening is phenomenal. I would say that. I would say it's next to a perfect opening, where gets you in, has some set pieces, sets up the stage pretty much, and immediately you like your main character. You want to basically achieve a goal at this point, right? And you buy in again with the characters, with the story, with what you're going to do, and the game just continues down the line. There's twists, there's turns. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I think again they absolutely nailed the story and characters, which was a big concern of mine. One of the biggest things that I thought this game could get wrong, but they absolutely nailed that. Number 2 is the sword combat. I absolutely adore it. The different stances. I think when the game first came out and we saw some review scores, one of the main issues that people had with this game, one of the only issues, was the repetitiveness of combat. There is repetitiveness, okay? When you go into duels, there's only so many ways a duel can go, right? At the same time, there's been 30 million duels in this game that Sucker Punch has reported. I love dueling. I love doing the standoffs, right, where you make your move first or they make their move. I absolutely adore that. And the sword combat in general, I think it's just deep enough where first it's not easy, okay, especially the higher difficulties you go. It's absolutely not easy. The parrying and just blocking window, blocking is a whole lot easier, right, because you just hold the button, but parrying, pretty small window that you're able to parry. Now, yes, they had an easy mode where basically you can parry at any time, and then they also made a very hard mode where parrying is next to impossible, right? But I love it. I absolutely love the sword combat. It's gruesome. It's real. It really, to me, and I have trained with swords before in my life, I love it. I love it because it literally does feel like you're having a sword. The blocks feel like something. When you parry and you do a quick strike back, it feels like something. You're kind of like gadgets or gizmos. They're all really cool too. They're all very effective in combat. Again, does it get repetitive? Yeah, but there are enough enemy types in my book. Again, it's right at the edge. I can see how people, I do get this. I can see why people maybe would say it's a little bit too repetitive. You do the same thing over and over. I actually agree. I do think there is a point where you're going to get in this game after so many hours. For the most part, you will have experienced most of the combat. And then at that point, you're kind of just doing the same thing over and over. At the same time, I would argue that's what you do in Assassin's Creed games. That's what you do in the Batman games. They all have really cool combat systems and combat loops, and what they hope is that you like it so much that you're willing, once you've seen it all, that you're willing to just keep doing it because it's kind of addicting, because it's kind of fun. And again, I think that's important. That's kind of what you need in any game, that you're going to be experiencing it for 30, 35, 40, 45 hours. You are eventually going to, I guess in this case for combat, you are going to unlock everything. You're going to see all the enemy types. You're going to see all kind of the move sets, right? Jin's going to keep doing the same thing that you've seen him do before. You're eventually going to see it all. But, you know, can they make it just interesting and feel cool enough and make it enough of a difficulty where you do have to always be thinking? You can't always block, right? Sometimes you have to dodge. Sometimes there's lots of different ways of handling it. The different enemies, some of them are next to impossible to take out if you use one stance. You're gonna have a really hard time in this game, right? So sometimes you have to switch stances. You can be stealthy. You can use your bow and arrow. So they have a good loop to it, I think, and that's exactly, again, that really did it catch me off guard. Well, I mean, Sucker Punch games with like Infamous have always been really solid that way, so maybe it shouldn't have been such a thing that I was worrying about, but I was worried about this too, and man, they absolutely nailed it. And number one, the thing that I think everybody is kind of just saying, you know what, chalk it up to them, they did it, is nailing the samurai experience. So again, this does go to the story, this goes to the character, honestly, this goes to the entire world. Now what I'll say, this game is not without fault, okay? I do think at some points the game does get a little bit boring. Again, not every character, not every quest is fun, not every activity, not every like side thing that you do in this world is fun, okay? I'm gonna just flat out say that. Do I think they're all not fun? No, and I don't even think it's 50-50. There's just some things. So again, like, it's not a perfect game, but, and again, and I think people know that, and that's honestly what I love about what so many people are saying about this game. The thing that I think everybody kind of agrees on is it has its faults. It's not a perfect game, but what it's trying to do, the samurai experience, telling the story, having characters, having even kind of just like cliches that you know maybe don't even actually happen, but they know that we all think that. Having that be in this game is what gets you into this world. So again, yeah, sometimes it gets a little bit boring. Sometimes things are a little repetitive, but this is the world, and this, I really do think they've captured it, where it's like, you know what, you're not going to play a better Sam. You never will. Maybe you will. Maybe if they make a Ghost of Tsushima too, but from the games we have right now, I don't think there's a better samurai open world game. Now you could say, okay, that's not the biggest genre of gaming, Alex, right? So it's not like they're competing. I get that. And again, I mean, you could say that they're going for a niche. It's a niche kind of game where you're not going to get this game if you're into, I don't know, like Wizards, or if you're into first-person shooters. You know what I mean? Like, if you're into your own niche, that's totally cool. But for what this game is trying to do, for that open world feel, and then if you buy into the samurai stuff and you just accept, like, okay, they are doing an open world with the backdrop of samurai, and they're telling that story. They're having that characters. They're doing all the they're having the gameplay mechanics. They're having the side quests that you would kind of imagine what like a samurai would do. If you buy in with that, I mean, I think that's a 10 out of 10. That's a perfect job. I mean, I guess, could they have done better? Sure, you can always, improve, right? But I think for what it's worth, they did a masterful job at making this game feel like a real samurai experience. And honestly, I think that's where it gets the most love, including for me. That's why I put it number one on the list. The thing that this game, that Sucker Punch nailed the most with Ghost of Tsushima, is the fact that they actually did a samurai thing, and that they nailed it. That they bought in. Whoever they had to convince us to buy in. And if you do, I think they absolutely nailed it. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? What are some things that you think this game did really, really well? What are some of the things that you think this game does that made it stand out to you? Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And thank you all so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.